that's the way.
Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Talk in English. My name is Esther.
And my name is Garrett. Today we have an Around Town lesson.
And the name of our lesson is At an Arcade.
Ooh, well friends, in our Around Town lessons, we talk about all different kinds of places you might find in your town. Now today we're talking about arcades. If you were around maybe 30 or 40 years ago, arcades were everywhere. Now there are still some arcades, but not as many.
Right. An arcade is a place where you can play many different kinds of games. Sometimes you get tickets from these games and you can exchange these tickets to get a prize.
Right. It's a fun place to go with some friends. There are games where you need to move around and do things. Other games that are more like video games. But what every arcade has is lots of fun. Let's go to our reading now to hear more.
An arcade is a fun place for everyone. Both children and adults can enjoy an arcade. You can find arcades in malls, department stores, movie theaters, and some restaurants. Arcades can be very large. They can have many different kinds of games too. Look for machines at the entrance of the arcade. Trade your coins or bills there for some tokens. Now you can play.
Ooh, thank you, Esther. Are you ready to play, friends? Well, you can do that in a little bit after we learn all about arcades and after we find our Find It answer. Today's question is, which arcade is Matt going to?
Which arcade is Matt going to? Listen carefully to find the answer. Now let's go to today's keywords with Sonia.
Hello, Matt 要带他的侄女去电子游乐场玩。Susie 说，可以把硬币换成代币。You can trade them for tokens. 动词 trade 就是交换。Matt 要带侄女去玩游戏机台。So we can play the game machines. 名词 machine 就是机器。他说，大人、小孩都能在电子游乐场玩得很开心。Arcades are fun for both children and adults. 名词 child 就是儿童、小孩。名词 adult就是成年人。Susie 问他们要去哪一家玩 Matt 说要去百货公司里面的电子游乐场。We are going to the arcade in the department store. 名词 department store 就是百货公司。
Hey, Matt, what are all the coins for?
They're for the arcade. I'm taking my niece to one.
I see. So you need a lot of coins. You can trade them for tokens.
Yes, so we can play the game machines.
I love arcade games.
So do my niece and I. Arcades are fun for both children and adults.
Well, friends, if you just want to have some free fun, you can go to the park and run around. But, of course, if you go to an arcade, you do need to prepare some money.
And you need lots of coins. Coins are money that are not paper bills. We need different kinds of coins because when you go to an arcade, you often put coins in when you play the games.
Right, but the coins you use at the arcade aren't regular money that you could use at the grocery store. You trade your real money for the coins from the arcade. Then you can put them in the machines to play. Today, we hear from Susie. She uses a simple sentence, I see. Oof. Well, let's go to Sonia so we can learn how to use more simple sentences.
听到 Matt 要带一大堆硬币去电子游乐场玩 ，Susie 说：“原来如此 ，I see。”这个句子是主词加不及物动词的句型，主词执行动词的动作，动词是完全不及物动词，可以独自存在，没有牵涉其他的人、事、物，所以不需要受词，也不需要补语。来看例句 ：Nick laughs， Nick 笑了起来，或是 That was a sad song. I cried. 那是一首悲伤的歌曲，我哭了。我们再举一个例子 ：Where's Mr. Johnson? Johnson 先生呢 ？He left. 他离开了。
Thank you very much, Sonia. Well, in today's conversation, Matt and Susie are talking about the arcade. And they are talking about trading. Remember, you need special coins from the arcade. Trade your regular coins or other kinds of money for those coins.
Now, if you trade something, it means you take one thing and you change it for something else. So, what is Matt going to do? Well, Matt is going to take his niece, his brother or sister's daughter, to the arcade, and he's going to trade his coins for other coins at the arcade.
Those special coins are called tokens. Now, they will be ready to play the game machines. Yes, most of these games are not like a board game. You need to play it on a machine, sometimes like a giant computer. Susie says she loves arcade games.
And Matt says, so do my niece and I. And then he has another sentence that's a very useful sentence. He says, arcades are fun for both children and adults.
Yes, arcades are fun. And that's today's calendar phrase.
Arcades are fun.
Arcades are fun.
电子游乐场充满乐趣。
Arcades are fun!
Children love arcade games.
Arcades are fun!
Adults love arcade games.
Arcades are fun!
Everyone loves arcade games.
I play every day.
Isn't it a little expensive?
It is. Can I borrow some coins?
No.
Oh.
Arcades are fun.
Arcades are fun.
电子游乐场充满乐趣。
Yes, friends, arcades are fun for all kinds of people, both adults and children. Now, what are we talking about here, Esther?
Well, first let's talk about adults. Adults are people that have grown up. In some countries, when you are 18, they consider you an adult. In other countries, it might be 21. How about children?
Well, children are the opposite. In these same countries, like in the US, if you're 17 or younger, you're a child. But normally when we use this word, we're talking about younger children. Maybe in elementary school or even younger. Now, these arcade games are fun for people of all ages.
There are many different kinds of games. There are games where you can beat on a drum to music. There are games where you can drive a car, or there are games where you can fight against your friends.
All you need to do is use those tokens. Well, friends, we'll keep talking about these fun games in just a minute. First, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
talking English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Welcome back to the show, friends. In the first half of our lesson, one of the words we learned is the word trade. Now, this is a great word to think about. If you need something, you don't have to spend money and buy it. Maybe someone else has it, and you have something they want.
Right. You might say, can I trade my pencil for your eraser?
That's right. Try trading with a friend. Let's go to our conversation now.
Which arcade are you going to?
We're going to the arcade in the department store.
The movie theater's arcade is nice too.
I know, but it's a little far from my place.
What about the arcade in the mall?
It has a lot of games, but isn't it a little expensive?
Yeah, it is.
Well, friends, arcades can be found all around. But when I think of these places, I think of one specific one in the US. It's a restaurant called Chuck E. Cheese's.
What is special about this restaurant, Chuck E. Cheese's?
Well, it's great for kids. You won't see too many adults playing the games, but you will see lots of kids having fun. Many kids have their birthday parties there and play the arcade games together.
Friends, if you ever visit the United States and you have kids, maybe you can take a visit and go to Chuck E. Cheese's. Now let's continue today's conversation.
Right. Susie continues and wants to know where Matt is going. Which arcade are you going to? Is the sentence she uses. And it's the one we'll practice together with Maria.
Hello friends, it is time for Use It. In the lesson, Susie and Matt are talking about arcades. Susie asks Matt, which arcade are you going to? Let's talk about the word which. When you use which, it means there's more than one thing, but you're only talking about one. So when Susie asks Matt, which arcade? There is more than one arcade, and she wants to know the arcade Matt is talking about. Which arcade? Let's look at two more example sentences. Which book are you talking about? Or which school are you studying at? Friends, why don't you make two sentences today? I wonder, which sentence are you going to use?
Thanks so much, Maria. Friends, great job. Great job for what, you ask? For finding our Find It answer.
Here is our question. Which arcade is Matt going to? Did you find the answer?
The answer is he's going to the arcade in the department store. Yes, friends, arcades aren't just one store. Sometimes you can find them in a department store or a mall.
Right. A department store is a big building. Usually it's one building where there are many different kinds of stores. But not everyone uses this definition of department store.
No, often in the US when we talk about department stores, they're just one store, but they have many different areas that sell different things, from clothing to things you use in your bedroom to kitchen things too.
Right. A store like Macy's would be considered a department store in the United States. But in Asia, a mall or a department store like Sogo would be what they consider a department store in Japan or Taiwan.
That's right. Okay, friends, a movie theater might also have an arcade. That's what Susie tells us. So you can watch a movie and play some fun games.
You might play the games when you are waiting for your movie to begin. But Matt says that the arcade is a little far from his place.
So, could he go to the arcade in the mall?
Matt knows about this arcade. He says it has a lot of games, but he has a question about this arcade.
Isn't it a little expensive? Isn't it? Well, that's the question we'll practice with Sonia.
购物中心的游乐场有很多游戏机台，但是 Matt 问，那里是不是有点贵呢？ But isn't it a little expensive? 问句 Isn't it? 中文接近不是吗？对吧？的意思。虽然看起来是否定疑问句，但是并没有否定的意思哦。我们来造些句子吧，像是 Isn't it a lovely restaurant? 这间餐厅是不是很美呢？或是 Isn't he sweet? 他好贴心哦，不是吗？我们再举个例子 Isn't it a beautiful morning? 今早是不是很美好呢？
Thank you, Sonia. Yes, arcades can be expensive, especially if you're having a lot of fun. You keep buying more and more tokens to play the games. But if you win a lot of the games, you might get to walk home with a fun prize.
Right. People can take the tickets they get from the games and they can go and exchange it for a prize in many arcades.
Yeah, they can trade for a great prize. Well, friends, trade was one of our key words, along with some others. Let's review them now.
Here is your first key word. Child. Child. I see 6 children on the playground.
Adult. Adult. Adults are usually very busy at work.
Department store. Department store. This department store sells everything.
Machine. Machine. Why isn't this machine working?
Trade. Trade. Can I trade this item for that one? Friends, those are today's key words. Make sure you practice them some more. Now let's go and review today's lesson.
Hey, Matt, what are all the coins for?
They're for the arcade. I'm taking my niece to one.
I see. So you need a lot of coins. You can trade them for tokens.
Yes, so we can play the game machines.
I love arcade games.
So do my niece and I. Arcades are fun for both children and adults.
Which arcade are you going to?
We're going to the arcade in the department store.
The movie theater's arcade is nice too.
I know, but it's a little far from my place.
What about the arcade in the mall?
It has a lot of games, but isn't it a little expensive?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, James, look how many coins I have.
Wow, you have so many. What are they for?
I'm going to trade them for tokens.
Tokens?
Yes, I'm going to the arcade.
Oh, then you'll have tokens to play the games.
Yes, lots of coins, lots of tokens, lots of games.
I love arcade games.
James, aren't you a little old for arcades?
No, the arcades are fun for both children and adults.
Okay, if you say so. Hey, do you want to go with me to the arcade?
Sure, that would be fun. After all, you have lots of coins to share.
Share? Hey, no way! These are my coins.
Aw, come on, Ginger, be nice.
Get your own.
Friends, let's answer some questions together today. Here's our first one. Who can have fun in an arcade? Who can have fun in an arcade?
We found the answer in conversation A. Children and adults can have fun in an arcade. Here's your second question. What is your favorite arcade game? What is your favorite arcade game? Let's go to our friends and see what they have to say.
What is my favorite arcade game? Well, it has to be Pac-Man. In the game, you play Pac-Man, you try to eat all the little dots on the screen. But there are ghosts that want to chase you. But when you eat the special dot, then you get to chase them. It's a fun game. What about yours?
What is my favorite arcade game? I like racing. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I like motorcycle racing, and I like racing cars too. I can go really, really fast. That's why they're my favorite arcade games. I get tickets and win prizes.
What is my favorite arcade game? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't play very many games. But I enjoyed Tetris when I was younger. This is a game where there are different pieces and shapes, and like a puzzle, you need to fit them together. It's a fun game. Look it up and try to play it yourself.
What is my favorite arcade game? I like to play air hockey. Have you played it before? I like to play it with my kids and my husband. We like to play back and forth and take turns. How about you? What kind of arcade games do you like to play?
What is my favorite arcade game? I like all kinds of arcade games, but air hockey is my favorite. It's very competitive. That means both people are trying to win. I especially like playing air hockey in the summer because if I put my face next to the air hockey table, I can feel the air blowing up through those little holes. It feels so nice and cool.
Thanks, friends. I always loved a game called skee-ball. Friends, answer this question yourself, and don't forget to join us again tomorrow, right here on
Let's Talk in English. Bye-bye.